We saw how powerful it is to automate your communication with the customers and how much you're saving by doing trigger-based emails, by doing workflows, by doing smart campaigns, and so on. So this was like a game changer for the email marketing industry. So what we did is we took the same concept and we implemented it for SMS. And SMS is a much more personal channel. So it's underused channel, very direct. It's a push notification most of the time. Email is often not a push message. And this basically gives us the power to be very direct and very efficient with the users and the visitors. So it leads to just having higher conversion rates, higher engagement rate with SMS, and it just shortens the distance between the merchants and the visitors and the shoppers.
Every SaaS company plays for high stakes, but what does it take to dominate the market right now? Welcome to Paris Talks Marketing, the podcast where we dive deep into the latest trends and strategies in SaaS marketing that are really working today. I'm your host, Paris, and our guests are SaaS CMOs, founders, and specialists, and we discuss one trendy topic in the industry per episode. Ready to unlock the true power of marketing strategy? In this theme, we'll explore the world of cutting-edge marketing strategies and tactics that are shaking up the SaaS industry. We'll share insights on testing new tactics and uncover the latest developments from digital landscape giants like Google, Facebook, and LinkedIn. We'll also explore how AI is revolutionizing the digital landscape and transforming marketing tactics. So grab your headphones and get ready for a marketing strategy masterclass with Paris Talks Marketing. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Paris Talks Marketing. And today I have the pleasure of speaking with Georgi Petrov. Georgi is the founder and CEO of NitroPack, and he's also the founder of SMSBump, which is a company that exited to Yotpo. NitroPack helps e-commerce, content publishers, and web agencies achieve outstanding website speed and optimization results. So, Georgi, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Paris.
So, Georgi, the first question that I have for you is about busting a popular myth in the website performance area. Can you help us to understand what is something that a lot of people believe that isn't really true, and what is the real truth?
There are many things in the performance category that are not really well understood. They're not just the depths of which people are getting into is very different. So one of the very popular situations that we get into is the understanding of Core Web Vitals, because still many people think that Core Web Vitals is just another tool of measuring your website performance. And it's like one of the many, but actually that's a quite different story. Core Web Vitals is the only way where you can reliably measure your real user experience from your real website users. It gives you like tons more value to know if your website has any performance challenges or actually it's at a good place. And very often we see people who do very basic tests and they're saying, okay, let's test. I tested myself. It's very fast. The website is loading great. Then it's fast. And then the customer somehow, let's say this is an agency, and his customer somehow finds out about the Google Core Web Vitals and says, but look, why I'm not passing Core Web Vitals. And then the agency is like, but when you open it, is it fast? Then everything is okay. And fortunately, we see less and less of such people, or we see less and less people doing so-called lab tests that are done from inconsistent environments, from one-off server locations that are done without actually involving the real users and the real visitors. Mm-hmm. And just getting your real visitors and real users being the ones who report and how they experience the pages as the way to go. That's how we actually advise everyone to measure the page speed and the performance and the total understanding of the visitor experience on their websites versus going into meets with certain tools, with certain one-off tests and so on. So that's
all right.
One very typical situation.
Great. I definitely want to continue with NitroPack, but let's move back in time to SMSBump, which is the first company that you founded and now have exited successfully to Yotpo. SMSBump is primarily about SMS marketing, and that's a very interesting channel for me, and I think a lot of our listeners. I feel like it's an often overlooked channel, especially for SaaS marketers. But can you tell us a little bit about why SMS is an important channel for marketing and a little bit about SMSBump?
Right. So we were fortunate enough to live where, and at a time where email marketing became a thing. The automated platforms like Klaviyo, Mailchimp, and others actually got into existence, and we saw how powerful it is to automate your communication with the customers and how much you're saving by doing trigger-based emails, by doing workflows, by doing smart campaigns and so on. So this was like a game changer for the email marketing industry. So what we did is like we took the same concept and we implemented it for SMS. And SMS is a much more personal channel. So it's underused channel. It's very personal. It's very direct. It's a push notification most of the time. You don't have any other way how to send a push message to your visitor. Email is often not a push message. And this basically gives us the power to be very direct and very efficient with the users and the visitors. So given that situation, it leads to just having higher conversion rates, higher engagement rate with SMS and just being super close to the visitor. It just shortens the distance between the merchants and the visitors and the shoppers.
I remember some crazy statistic that the open rates on SMS messaging or SMS campaigns is something phenomenal, like 90%, whereas average open rates for email campaigns is, I don't know, 15%. But do you have the more accurate statistics on that?
Yeah, it's changing over time. Initially, it was like huge open rates. I mean, like you're not receiving SMS. Like you have a full month, no one has sent you even one SMS, and then you're receiving SMS from someone, and it's like being your phone is ringing and you're opening it. Oh, someone is writing me. Like at the same time, you're receiving tens of emails. So the open rate was like huge. As long as it's delivered, it was like 95% or more, depending on the audience. So obviously over time, this open rate is getting lower and lower because more people are stepping at the same niche and they're starting to use SMS for their marketing mix. But still at a much higher level compared to email open rate. Yeah, if you're doing email campaign and SMS campaign, and now we strongly suggest to do both in a smart way. But if you're doing either one of these channels as a communication channel to your shoppers, basically you'll be like enjoying an amazing reachability, amazing open rate, and amazing conversion rates.
Yeah. Let's drill a little bit deeper into use cases for SMS marketing for SaaS companies. And I think that probably a big portion of SMS Bump's customers are e-commerce, and that makes a lot of sense. So you can use SMS to upsell, cross-sell, confirm orders, update on delivery status, and all the rest. But for a SaaS company, and let's imagine it's a SaaS company like NitroPack, maybe it's mostly a product-led growth company. You're trying to get a lot of people to come in and get their hands on the product and experience the product initially in a free trial or freemium setting. How could a PLG SaaS company benefit from SMS marketing in their marketing mix?
Right. So let me say that the SaaS companies are not the biggest use case for SMS marketing. So because by definition they're B2B and they're not, they often B2B, more rarely they're B2C. And the SMS by itself is very powerful into B2C businesses like merchants and so on. But still, we do use SMS in NitroPack as well. So how we do it is, for example, we have automated different events. Like, for example, you're paying a recurring payment and it helps us with the collection of the SMS messages. Also, on the top of the funnel, we still don't use it, but we plan to use it as part of our marketing mix. Like, let's say we're doing a landing page where this landing page is offering something that is very like Black Friday type of a campaign. And this Black Friday type of campaign is like joining our text club to unlock additional discount. And this should be like very well thought and tailored approach when you create it as part of the marketing mix, because you're aware that you're texting someone who is very likely a business person and who is very likely doesn't have time just to be pinged from time to time about different promotions. So you should be very, very smart how you do that and how you plug it in the right time for the right product. So that's why we use the more or less it in a retargeted way, in an automated way. So you purchase, you have this with us, but if you want to get this plus two, we can get it now, Black Friday on additional price. And one thing that is very important is that you need to have the consent of the actual recipients that they're opted in to receive this type of messages.
I was going to ask you about that. That's a very sensitive issue because when you're sending an SMS, you're indicating that you've acquired someone's phone number, and that could be very, very sensitive. And I think people probably react more strongly to SMS spam than to email spam. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. And also there is like SMS regulation. Fortunately, SMS is much more regulated than the email. So this also helps with the deliverability, reachability, open rates, and so on, because it's regulated. The only thing is that you need to follow the rules, right? So you need to compliantly opt in these people so that they are aware that and they want to receive this SMS. Now, most of the marketers will say this is very hard. How can we do that? The best place to do that is at the checkout. So at the checkout, you have the option to offer one additional perk, or even some people do it without any perk, if the person joins the SMS club of the text club of the company. So let's say I'm a brand and I sell shoes and everything is great. And at the very last step of the checkout, you see that my bill is like 150 and it says get another $5 off if you join our text club, and you're going to be getting like extra discounts for our other purchases. Then these $5, you pay them back in multiple ways with this customer, because the SMS will give you like amazing retargeting opportunities, and they'll be very personal. And SMS is the only like viable tool that allows you to do flash campaigns. Let's say this product is discounted for the next 3 hours.
Okay.
You're on the phone, you have the attention, the open rate is amazing. You know that this person is interested to receive this type of text messages, and you do a flash campaign and you open and you shop right now. You know that you have 3 hours.
Yeah, lots of urgency. And I suppose it has to be entirely designed for mobile. So if you're a B2B SaaS company and most of the real product demo and the consideration needs to happen on a desktop, then probably SMS is not the right channel, unless maybe you want to take people over to their laptop or desktop at some point. But then the mobile experience should be great anyway, though, for whether it's e-commerce or SaaS. And so it sounds like that it can be very effective to capture an opt-in at the point of checkout. So that means that it's while you're acquiring that new customer. Could you go further upstream and use SMS in any way that's privacy compliant to acquire the new customer and to acquire a first-time buyer through SMS? Or is that going to be too difficult to get the opt-in first?
No, I wouldn't say it's difficult. I would say it's different than the regular methods. Like if you're doing email marketing, you might think that, okay, now I need to do SMS marketing, and SMS marketing, just because the SMS is much more regulated, it asks for additional provisions. It asks for like one more step. It asks for like a more robust form and so on and so on. But once you do that, and if you use tool like SMSBump, they do actually this for you. The heavy lifting for you of actually having a compliant opt-in is done by our tool. So you start to automatically collect them. And just because it's regulated and it has its necessary steps to opt in, yes, you might get less opt-ins compared to emails, but they're like super high quality ones. So when you text them, like we've seen great results, like 100 text sent, 20 purchases. So having super high quality contacts on SMS is amazing. So how do you opt them in? Checkout, as I mentioned, like it's the most popular method. Then you have forms, which basically are in a form of pop-ups, or you can place them at different stages during your visitor journey. And at these stages, you basically, when you think it's the right time, you pop up, hey, join the text club and get 10% off, and get additional perks, or get access to our coaching program, let's say if you're a coach, or get access to extra benefits, or you give them something in exchange of participating in this active, small community, which might get quite big, but very targeted community of SMS people.
Yeah, interesting. I've seen thousands and thousands of e-commerce and SaaS companies that are opting in with email addresses using pop-ups. So the most common is a newsletter. Subscribe to our newsletter, and some people will have that exit pop up when people are leaving or after a certain amount of time that they've been on the page. But I actually can't remember even one example of someone doing that in the SaaS world with SMS. Join our text club. I love how you position that as a club with a distinct membership benefits. But I've never seen a SaaS company do that to acquire a text. And that's so much more powerful if you get the mobile number, even if you're willing to get that instead of the email. I think it's a more valuable asset. And I'm wondering why no one does this in SaaS.
Yeah, I've seen some SaaS doing it, but it's not very
Mhm.
typical. And I think the number one reason is like, if you're a SaaS, it probably makes sense more if your customers are like VSB, very small businesses, or like just individuals, or if they're small. I mean, if they're spending like $10 to $20 a month or something like that, if they're small, you can easily categorize them as like individuals. So they will be more willing to interact with media like SMS and to shop there. And on the flip side, if you have mid-market customers on the SaaS, they usually involve having multiple stakeholders, multiple accounts.
Mhm.
One is for billing purposes, another is for commercial purposes, another is operations, another is integrations. So who do you text?
Mhm.
Usually, when you communicate with emails, you send multiple emails to the multiple people at once,
Yeah.
multiple parties from the outside. And that's why just the email is the de facto standard for mid-market customers for SaaS.
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess that SMS capture from the site visitors could be part of an account-based marketing program too. But I do see your point. When there's a long sales cycle with multiple decision makers, then it gets more complex. Yeah. Now, a quick word from our sponsor. The Paris Talks Marketing Show is affiliated with Hop Online, a performance marketing agency focused on high growth SaaS and other recurring revenue based companies. If you like the flow of this conversation, you may want to consider jumping on a discovery call with someone at Hop Online. A discovery call is similar to my podcast interviews in a lot of ways. We'll get to know your business goals, competitive landscape, and marketing needs. And you'll almost certainly come away with some new ideas for how to accelerate your customer and revenue growth. If you're interested, go to hop.online, that's hop, H-O-P dot online, and book a discovery call with one of our strategists today. Now, back to the episode. Well, let's now pivot over to NitroPack. And before we do that, I want to understand how your career path, there seems to be a big overlap because you started SMSBump first. And then a couple of years into that, it looks like you started NitroPack. And then there was a period of time, well, I think several years where you were running both of those companies, then exited SMSBump, now have a more limited role there. And I believe that today your focus is almost entirely on NitroPack. Did I get that right?
That's right. Yeah.
So, can you walk me through that career journey? Because it's very, very unique. How do you run two companies at once? How did you manage to do that for those years? And was it planned or was it accidental? And just love for you to tell that story.
Yeah. How do you run them? The only formula which I can relate to, which actually worked pretty much well for us, is having great co-founder,
Mhm.
because that's how you actually manage to do a lot more heavy lifting than being yourself or being with people who are inactive. Mikhail, my co-founder, he put great effort and a great job on the SMS bomb scaling and making it a good win in Shopify. While at the same time, I was putting the proof of concept and the product creation of NitroPack as a company. We
Mhm.
both work on both sides, but now keeping like most of your focus on one product. Yes, it's like you need to do that in order to make it a product. Otherwise,
Mhm.
the best you can do is to be a service provider. So that's how we did it. And taking a step back, we had this company called iScience Labs, and it was like open cart plugins company, and we
Mhm.
were selling them as products. We were selling these plugins as products, licensing business. And it was actually a great way for us to validate many ideas of what the e-commerce might need, what type of technologies the e-commerce might find a good fit for them. So like being like 5 years in the company, from 2011 to 2015, we basically understood that we became the biggest open cart vendor of plugins, in terms of revenue, in terms of number of products, in terms of people involved, impact, everything. So we kind of hit the ceiling and we couldn't do more. And then we said like, okay, let's zoom out and think how to grow further. And we said, okay, let's consider our open cart journey to be our testing environment. Okay, we're somehow successful, but let's see, this is a testing environment, and let's see how we can open up our best products to the whole world, not to be limited only to open cart. And we selected two products, which we started productizing as SaaS. The first one was called SMS and the second one was called NitroPack. And this is how these two companies were born.
Okay. So they were started around the same time then, right?
Yes, they were started around the same time. Even we registered their separate companies at the same day. The thing is that their product was at different stage. So, for example, the SMS Bump was at already like growing stage, and it already had the product market fit at its Shopify segment. And 2018, we have SMS Bump, who is like growing and month over month, amazing numbers, amazing adoption. Customers love it, like amazing experience. And we have NitroPack, who we just decided that we're going to make it as a SaaS, as a separate product. So yeah, that was how 2018 looked like. And basically, yeah, we had these two companies just in very different stages.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And you mentioned Shopify. So were you with SMS Bump? Was it primarily for Shopify store owners?
Yeah, we
Okay.
had the biggest use case. Our most impactful use case was Shopify, because Shopify at that time was also growing and being an amazing managed e-commerce. We were able to create the category of SMS marketing and automation, and we were very well accepted by the users, by the
Mhm.
merchants.
That's a great example of riding the wave of a larger technology platform, because Shopify, I think we can all agree, is now the number one player, aren't they, in e-commerce? And when you have a platform that is that successful, and then you become the category creator of SMS marketing automation inside of that platform, then you can really ride the tailwind, so to speak, of of the growth of the bigger platform of Shopify. I'm really curious because we also have clients that sell exclusively tools to Shopify store owners. And the biggest marketing channel is the Shopify app store, or is it called the plugin store maybe? I'm not sure. But that's the main channel. But we're trying to help them to grow outside of the Shopify plugin store to grow acquisitions. Were you all successful in marketing SMS Bump outside of Shopify's plugin store?
I would say we were somehow successful, but not that successful as in Shopify. And it
Mhm.
has two reasons. Like, reason number one is that Shopify was the most prepared technologically to handle such kind of apps. So they had the most versatile, the most reliable API with most of the events that we need to consume, so that we can send the SMS at the right time with the right triggers, and basically to construct the whole workflow. So they were the most advanced, and I think they still are the most advanced in terms of like API and all the options that you can do with this. And this
Mhm.
basically allowed us to offer a seamless experience for the Shopify merchants. Like, they felt at home when they were using SMS marketing. They felt very native. They felt very easy to run a SMS campaign. And that's just because we were interacting very well with the Shopify. The other platforms are not at that stage. That's number one. And number two, Shopify was, because of this reason and other reasons as well, was growing at a higher rate compared to the other platforms at the time. And
Mhm.
being a managed platform, it had many of the issues that like other platforms are having solved. So
Yeah.
I
Okay.
I would say just the best player in the market. So that's
Yeah.
why Shopify
That's
is
great because that
the
probably
best success.
eliminated the need for you all to rely too much on outside channels like paid search, PPC, paid social, maybe even SEO. Did that take a lot of the pressure off you to really develop those other really strong acquisition channels when you just had such a really privileged place inside of the Shopify store?
Yes and no. You when you launch something, and especially when you're out of Bulgaria, and like, you don't have any privileges.
Okay.
You're just an app. And we didn't start by being privileged. We start by putting something on the market and having one install in the next one day, like in the next few days, I would say one. Then another install in one day, then two installs the next day, then three installs the next day. And how does it happen? We just use our biggest marketing asset, being an online company. We did 100% self-serve business. So we just use our most valuable asset. This is the product itself. So if having a product that works and gives value, people start to talk, they start to try, they start to discuss and they share, and you get a word of mouth that gets us to a certain point. Obviously, we had to establish a marketing as well, like being a self-serve company, POG approach. We took all the marketing techniques like content marketing, some SEO here and there, partnerships, like product partnerships with others. So we had very successful partnerships with the most successful Shopify apps, but this happened only when we had the product market fit. So once we were someone and people liked us just because of us and not because someone else pushing them to go to us, then was the easy way to do a lot of partnerships, which further escalated our success.
Yeah. And I think from the last discussion that we had yesterday before this recording, you bringing a lot of those same principles to NitroPack too, as far as I can tell, which is that the best marketing is to have a great product that people love and that they will tell their friends and colleagues about, and that there's a viral aspect of that that really beats any other form of paid or organic marketing.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. This is exactly what we are doing. We're very focused on our user. We are putting in the user hands like tools that they like, they love, and we see a friction somewhere, we fix it. And basically, this is what we know that it works.
Yeah.
It's hard. I mean, if you're doing like an average job, if you're doing something that other people also have it, very likely you are not gonna be their choice, or you'll be the choice of very few people. But if you're able to innovate and do a little bit more and make it a little bit easier, make it through another lens approach, then very likely someone will see a value and they'll start using it.
Great. I want to be conscious of your time, Georgi. I know that you have to run soon, but as we wrap up here, because you've been now 2 times a successful entrepreneur, great story. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you wished that I would have asked you, or is there anything else that you feel could benefit our audience, whether it's about SMS marketing or just building a great PLG product or anything else to the entrepreneurs that are listening?
Yeah, I would say stay focused, but change your focus from time to time. Just don't change it on a very short time. Change it when you see that you have done the best which you can do on the idea you're working, and then basically upgrade your focus to how you can be useful to your visitors in a slightly different way, because you're learning every day. Every day is a new day. Every day is a chance to actually improve as yourself, also improve your product, improve something very little. So what I found is that even if you do very small improvements to your product, but you do them very often, like every day or every second day, it's a much better job compared to if you do them, like if you work a few months and then push an improvement to the product. The chance of missing it is great if you do it that way. So doing fast iterations, testing it, don't focus too much on yourself, focus more on the visitor, more on the user, more on how these things are used, then things are kind of getting natural and easy.
Yeah, like the lean approach, the lean methodology. Excellent. Well, Georgi, I really appreciate your time today. Well, this has been a fantastic conversation, and I wish you all the same success or greater with NitroPack that you already have had with SMSBump, and keep pushing it.
Thanks so much, Paris. Likewise, and have a nice day.
Thanks. Another great episode in the books. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to get notified when future episodes drop, be sure to subscribe to Paris Talks Marketing on your favorite podcast player. And to learn more about our growth marketing agency, visit hop.online. That's hop, H-O-P.online. Have a great day.